Hey VC, how's it going? Right, okay, a very quick video. Last weekend I went to Belfast in Northern Ireland. I went over there to see one of my best mates. Yeah, he's originally from Donegal in Southern Ireland, and he lived over here in Birmingham for the best part of 20 years. Obviously with COVID, and he'd also been ill, so because of his treatment he'd been having, I hadn't actually seen him for the best part of 2.5 years, so it was great to catch up. Now, we were meeting up just for one day, myself, Ronan, and a few other lads. And it seemed a shame just to be going over there for one day. So myself and another one of the guys, St. Dave, we went over a day early to check out a couple of record shops and to check out the pubs, if I'm honest with you. That's what we did. So the first shop that I went into is called Dragon Records. I've been there before. It's a great little shop. It's all used stuff. And I did take a little bit of footage of the shop, which I'll probably cut in now.
So surprised, you've been telling me lies. It's hard to wake up to your makeup, so please take off at the skies.
So Dragon Records, it's a lovely little shop. It's all used vinyl, and hopefully you can see from the footage that it's a good mix of stuff there. Lots of nice reggae in there actually, but I picked up two items. So first of all, this is the Stair Steps. Now this is their album from 1971. So the Stair Steps were a Chicago based band, actually a family band. I think they originally had the title of the First Family of Soul. But that title was nicked by the Jacksons, and obviously they were far more successful, so they sort of went with it. But yeah, so they originally recorded with Curtis Mayfield for his Windy Sea label, and then later on his Curtain label. Now, interestingly, this opens up with a version of My Sweet Lord, the George Harrison tune, and their follow-up album to this, which was about 4 or 5 years after this actually, was put out on Dark Horse Records, the George Harrison label. So there's a link there, and apparently it was Billy Preston that introduced the band to George Harrison and got them that deal. But yeah, this is a really nice album. Another nice cover on here is a version of Sly Stone's Everybody's a Star. Yep, so worth checking out, and that was only cheap. But easily the nicest thing that I picked up when I was in Ireland was this, and this is also from Dragon Records. This is Yellow Fever by Fela Kuti, album from 1976, and this is an original Nigerian pressing in absolutely mint condition on the Afro-Beat label, which certainly aesthetically is one of my favourite labels there. Now, yeah, I mean, I've got quite a bit of Fela stuff, obviously a number of reissues. I do have some original pressings, but certainly nothing in this sort of condition. Yeah, and this is a good album. You know what you're getting. It's very much in the vein of all of his stuff from that sort of mid-70s period. Not necessarily his best album though, but very nice, and I'll perhaps do a needle drop on the title track from that. Okay then, and the other shop that I went to when I was in Belfast was called Voodoo Soup Records. Lovely little shop. I could have spent longer in there. I was only in there for about a quarter of an hour. It's all used vinyl. Yeah, quite interesting, you know. So I did pick up one thing. This is Smokey Robinson and the Miracles with 1 Dozen Roses on Tamla. This came out in 1971. So yeah, I really like all of Smokey's stuff from around this period. He made some really nice solo albums a couple of years after this, but you know, even the stuff that he made with the Miracles at this point are excellent records. Interestingly, the album that came out before this by the band was their Christmas album, which I'd strongly recommend, particularly considering the time of year. One of my favourite soul Christmas albums. But yeah, this is really good as well. Interestingly, got a bit of social commentary in places on here, which isn't normally the case with Smokey's records. But yeah, the big tune on here, of course, is Tears of a Clown, which was a #1 single in the UK. Yeah, and I would say is probably my top 5 Motown songs. I think it's absolutely perfect. Co-written with Stevie Wonder, of course. Stevie wrote, I think, that little motif on the intro. But yeah, lovely stuff. And I'll perhaps show some footage of Voodoo Soup. Right then, I've just edited the footage of that I took when I was in the record shops in Northern Ireland. So now, before anybody says anything, I've used a couple of tunes by the Undertones. Now, I know the Undertones were from Derry and not from Belfast, but if I'm honest, prior to say travelling out there, I had a week of listening to records by bands from Northern Ireland, and the 2 records that really stayed with me and are still on the player now are the Undertones debut and their follow-up, Hypnotised. I love these records, and their 3rd album as well. Great records. I mean, John O'Neill, what a songwriter. I've said before that Wednesday Week off this album is the 2nd album. One of my favourite singles from that sort of period. Came out in 1980 now. 1980 for me, I think, in as much as the UK singles chart is concerned, I think that's the best year for music. And as I say, Wednesday Week is one of the best songs from that period. So yeah, absolutely faultless. So yeah, I dare say I'll be listening to these records again for a few weeks to come. But I just want to finish just with this record. Now, this isn't something I bought when I was away, but something I bought from a local record shop here in Birmingham. Now, the owner bought a handful of African LPs from a local car boot sale, or I think all Nigerian, mainly Highlife, you know, that sort of stuff. And I think this was one of my favourites. So this is Inyang Henshaw and his Top 10 Aces. I think this is their 2nd record, and he's absolutely beautiful. It's just those lovely chiming Highlife guitars, you know, such an uplifting sound. And I'll perhaps do a needle drop on one of the tracks from that. So cheers.
Get him